Hello, Nomad Nation. Welcome to Tandem Nomad, where you'll find great inspiration and tips to build your portable career and thrive in your global nomadic life. So, today's episode is all about helping expat parents who might need the support to support their own kids who have special needs in terms of education or health. And in order to talk about this topic, I brought to you an expert in the matter, Tracey Ellis. So, Tracey, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Tracey is an educational therapist and the founder and CEO of the International Diagnostic Solutions, which is a company that provides to global families educational and therapeutical solutions through online consultation services or programs. So, Tracey, in this episode, we talked about so many important topics regarding kids with special needs, and you provided great tips on, how to detect if they have special needs early on, and if they do, how should parents handle this when moving from a country to another? For example, how to deal with the school, how to communicate it around the kid environment. So, really, really important, topic that we discuss in this episode. But what would you tell us here? About the major factors that you think make it more complicated for parents who travel from a country to another with their kids. Why is it more complicated than if you live in one place?
Well, that's a fantastic question. And the first one is that I think, as particularly for parents who are on their first time move, a lot of times we just expect that what we can get in our original or home location, we're going to be able to get anywhere else. And it's such a big mistake because you might be able to access a speech language pathologist or an occupational therapist right down the street and around the corner. But when you move to a different country, that's not always the case, particularly finding one who speaks your language as well. So the first key piece is don't expect that you're going to be able to find the providers and the experts that you need wherever you're going to go. So you're going to want to do a little bit of research. There is a global shortage of people who are experts in special education and therapy, and so you really want to be mindful of that as you're moving around. You can't always find the people your kids need. Another really big piece for parents, particularly parents of younger children, a lot of times it's the first time an issue has come up. So maybe they're in kindergarten or first grade, and it's the first time you're hearing that your child might be struggling in the classroom. And all of a sudden there's panic. Where do I go? What do I do? And you need to find someone to help with diagnosis, and that's not always easy. Again, sometimes you can maybe find a therapist locally, but you can't find people to do the diagnostic work. And let's face it, as parents, we can get stressed and we worry about what's going on with our kid. We want to know what is the problem. Let's get to the root of it. So that's another big key piece. But one of the more global issues is that special educational needs are not acknowledged in every country. It is not, these issues are not accepted and embraced the same way as you move from place to place, particularly school to school. So you might find that a particular country isn't as accepting of educating kids altogether and practicing inclusion. They may not be as open to supporting those needs, and you might feel a little bit alone. Because you're not really finding that the people in your community are embracing some of your child's challenges. Some of the key pieces to think about.
Yeah, definitely. And we also talked about this major challenge of continuity of the care that we want to provide to the child. That's very difficult to keep when we move from a country to another. This is where I guess online solutions come in very, very, very handy. So we've talked about a lot of things, but is there one tip that you could share here that you think is very important to know for parents with special kids?
I think the key piece is for parents to be honest with themselves and to trust not only themselves and their gut, but the people who spend the most time with their children. A lot of times we might think that there's a problem with our child, but we just, no, that's not really an issue. Yeah, I don't think so. And then we hear from teachers, I think your child might be struggling a little bit with reading or with learning. And we want to jump quickly to say, well, they just don't know my child. Oh, they're fine outside of school. And sometimes this is about us not wanting to accept that there are some challenges. And really the most important thing for children is early intervention. The sooner you go in and identify and work on the issues, the sooner you see them disappear and you see your child catch up and be successful. So I think it's trusting your gut and being willing to discuss it and be open and honest with it especially as you move from place to place. And in that thought, you mentioned the continuity and bringing the services with you. When you work with a group who is providing services from place to place, it's important that you use them to help you communicate.
Definitely. Yeah. So thank you so much, Tracey, for having shared so many important tips and inspiration and and guidance for parents who might be in this very difficult situation. We have to say it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Nomad Nation, don't miss this episode. It's very valuable, and you will find the link to it above or below this video. And I can't wait to meet you there. So stay tuned to turn your challenges into great opportunities.